is Yankee Doodle, of course, on the alto flute. So we have talked about meeting the different flutes and the flute family. And you have looked at the C flute, which is the normal flute that people are playing. This is another flute in the family, and it is the alto flute. The thing that makes the alto flute a little bit different is that it is larger around this way. We call this the bore size. So it's larger around this way. And of course it is larger in its length. And because of the length of it is and the bore size here, this flute is not a C flute, which is the flute that you've been introduced already and we've done most of the videos on. The C flute is in C. This flute is an alto flute and it is in G. So all that means is if a piano were to play in C and a C flute were to play in C and you both played Yankee Doodle, you would sound fine together. If that were the case and I would play my alto flute and I started it on C and someone else played it on their C flute and started on C, we would not sound the same. It would sound quite horrifically bad because this flute is not in the same key as the C flute. So you'd have to transpose in order for the two instruments, whatever they happen to be, to sound good together. So that's just another complication, but composers write for this the alto flute, and it is fine. It's a beautiful instrument. It has a more sultry sound in the upper register. It's definitely more ethereal. It's used a lot in jazz these days. You can listen to many recordings if you're interested in this flute. It's very beautiful. It's fun to play. And if you are interested in it, try one. You can go to a music store and have them try. This particular model is a Gemeinhardt in black nickel. It's a beautiful instrument. So let me play Yankee Doodle again and hear it in both octaves. And here it is up the octave. And if you want to hear the whole range of the alto flute, let me play that for you. I'll start at a low C. That's going from low to high. This flute plays very nicely. Sometimes alto flutes, because of how they're made and the bigness of the keys and such, they can get out of adjustment fairly easily. So you just have to keep track of that and make sure that you're handling your instrument properly and getting regular tune-ups on the instrument to make sure that all the keys are covering and doing what they should be doing. So as I've mentioned, alto flutes are used in jazz playing a lot, but alto flute is very handy in a flute choir. So in my flute choir, I have two people that own alto flutes, and I use them quite frequently. An alto flute is going to act like an alto or a tenor in a choir, in a regular vocal choir. They carry that type of part. Sometimes an alto flute can be used in sort of the bass realm. It depends on the composer and how it's been used. But the alto flute is a wonderful different color in a flute choir of all C flutes and a piccolo, and then we'll get to the bass flute as well. But that is the alto flute. So if you're interested in that, once you learn to play the C flute, you should really learn that first. Then go ahead and delve into this beautiful instrument.